Something fun we like to do here at WickedBinge is to theorize how certain fictional characters would perform in various other elements and worlds, and that got us thinking about Disney characters in professional football. Disney has a wide repertoire of characters at their disposal, some of which are iconic and some who are lesser known, but which of them could make it on a professional NFL team? First, let's iron out a couple rules. Due to Disney's propensity for animal characters, we are allowing animals as long as they are bipedal, have something similar to human consciousness, and are somewhat close to human size. Also, characters enter the draft with no powers, weapons, or enhancements, putting them all on an even playing field. Finally, we'll be breaking characters down into three main categories: the offense, the defense, and coaching. We will also be breaking down the offense and defense into subcategories to fill individual positions. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. But before we begin, if you're a sports fan, make sure to check out our new Timeline Sports channel. We'll be covering the timelines of some of the most influential players and coaches from all the major sports and more. We actually just released our first episode, so if you're a big fan of sports and its history, make sure you subscribe over there. Generally speaking, there are three parts to an offense: the quarterback, the offensive line, and the skilled positions. Let's start by drafting a couple quarterbacks. Our first overall pick for quarterback goes to Princess Merida of Brave. While Merida is only 16, she is already a stronger leader than most. She has physical skills such as arm strength and mobility, in addition to intangibles such as competitiveness, leadership, and intelligence. As a daughter of a Scottish king, Merida challenged her kingdom's long-standing traditions to live a life of independence. Merida is a skilled bowwoman, a skill her father began teaching her while she was young. She is also an excellent horseman, which displays both her physical strength and her ability to listen. Combine all of these qualities with her fiery spirit, and you have an exceptional quarterback. Our second pick for quarterback goes to Mulan. Now you could argue Mulan is the complete opposite of our first pick, Merida. At first, Mulan is a clumsy girl who cannot follow rules, regulations, or traditions. Usually not the qualities you would want in a professional quarterback. However, we think Mulan would be an outstanding unconventional pick in that her other qualities would propel her to the top. Not only is she incredibly selfless, but she manages to lead grown, bull-headed men into battle. When push came to shove, she proved to be fierce both physically and mentally, as well as independent and persistent. Her various martial arts skills and expert swordsmanship speak to the discipline she has put herself through. She manages to care for others while also staying true to herself. We think her desire to uphold her family's honor is a quality that would resonate well with any NFL team, as well as making her a perfect fit for captain of the offense. Moving on, let's try and fill some of our skilled positions. After much deliberation, we decided our number one overall running back would be Dash from The Incredibles. First, a quick disclaimer. We realize he does possess superhuman speed, and the rules state that we won't factor that into our decision making. However, we still believe without that ability, he would still be remarkably quick and possess enough other qualities to make it as a professional running back. Being the child of the family, Dash is, as described by his mother, a highly competitive boy and a bit of a show-off.
You are an incredibly competitive boy.
Though, after his near-death experiences, Dash learned to keep his ego in check. Due to society rejecting supers, he struggles to find a way to vent his energy after not being allowed to partake in sports, as it could expose their identities, as well as being unfair to the other kids. Later on, he was allowed to partake in sports under the condition he holds back to give other kids a chance, a promise he kept. His physical attributes, paired with his trustworthiness, would combine to make an excellent running back, someone your quarterback could believe in and trust handing the ball off to. Moving on to our tight end position, we believe James Sullivan from Monsters Inc. would be a perfect selection. Tight ends are usually larger players that a quarterback can easily throw to, which makes Sully a perfect fit. He is intelligent and even-tempered, but has proven his ferocity when the time comes. More importantly, his sense of duty for responsibility would make him a key player to finish every game strong. Not to mention, he already showed some of his serious football skills in Monsters University. We have also seen how competitive Sully can be, which would be a great advantage to any team. Throughout the Monsters franchise, Sully has proven himself to be someone that could be trusted in and relied on, exactly what a quarterback needs out of a great tight end. Next, we need to fill a wide receiver position, and we think Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph would be a great fit. Similar to Dash, we will be judging him on what we believe his non-superhuman abilities would be. Ralph has spent his entire life trying to prove himself, so if you apply that same ethic to football training camp, we are sure he would excel. Although, I recognize that this could be problematic as he might get carried away and destroy the actual field. Regardless, if he can channel his desire to rampage and destroy objects around him to destroying NFL defenses, he could very well do just fine on any offense. The last part we need to draft for the offense are the linemen. Our first pick goes to Beast from Beauty and the Beast. A lineman's main jobs are to protect the quarterback and block for the running backs. For this particular example, we're talking Beast pre-Broken Curse here. We think he would be a fantastic addition to any football team. He would have no problem plowing people down, and his loyalty and overall strength have proven that he'd be an excellent guard. He might have some temper issues, but maybe that will play directly into his game. Given all of his traits, we think he would make for a perfect center. Someone responsible for hiking the ball every play and then blocking the defensive line. Our final pick for offense goes to Baymax from Big Hero 6. We almost placed him on our defensive line, but his passion to protect versus attack made him a better fit on the offensive line. Baymax's size alone would make him an excellent choice because he would be able to block ridiculously well. A couple downsides to Baymax are he would probably be the slowest person on the field, and he might be afraid of hurting someone accidentally, but we think he'd do just fine. And hey, if he doesn't cut it as a guard, maybe he could serve on the team's medical staff. These next group of characters will make up the defense. For today's video, we'll be filling two positions, defensive backs and the defensive line. Let's start by drafting some defensive backs. We think an excellent pick for safety would be Tarzan. In football, safeties act as the last line of defense, preventing the offense from moving the ball deep downfield. Tarzan spent his entire life eating healthy food and doing gymnastics, so it's hard to argue that he wouldn't be a perfect safety. He has the strength of an ape and is as fast and agile as they come. It's almost fitting that he is the valiant protector of the jungle and could now be the protector of the end zone. Tarzan would intercept his opponent and then swing home in time for afternoon bananas. Our pick for cornerback goes to Aladdin. Cornerbacks are similar to safeties, but require even greater speed to match that of the opposing receivers. His agility, athleticism, and hand-to-hand combat skills make him a perfect fit. Swift moving hands create turnovers. Though teammates might question his character and potential harmful influence on others, his heart is pure. While some players get worked up over playing time and who's starting, his humble beginning would keep him grounded even in the toughest moments. Maybe his prior occupation as a thief would translate well into stealing possessions. Now it's time to draft our defensive line. Our first pick for this position goes to Hercules. The defensive line requires physically tough players who can make tackles and rush the quarterback. Hercules juggles boulders and can tear mountains in half, but unfortunately, we can't quite factor that into our equation. Superhuman strength aside, he would still be a force to be reckoned with. Although he might need a leader to cool his hot head and impulsive tendencies, these same traits might benefit him on the defensive line. Aside from his physical attributes, he had to overcome many obstacles to discover who he is and what he truly believes. Being mentally tough and disciplined is a key part of any defensive line, so in our eyes, he would make a great captain of the defense. Our second pick goes to Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and we think he would make a great edge rusher. He's great for his indestructibility and sturdy agility. This little alien project would certainly be a handful for any offensive line to try and contain. Stitch is a tiny vessel that packs an incredible punch and can sack any quarterback he's faced with. Any size differential on the opposing offensive line would be surely outmatched by his speed and maneuverability alone. And as long as there's a clear and concise objective, he's guaranteed to get around any opponent. He's just about an all-in-one package. Our last defensive draft pick goes to King Fergus from Brave. And I know what you're saying, but he has a wooden leg. We know. But just like Shaquem Griffin, we think King Fergus could turn tragedy into triumph. Aside from his tall, muscular physique, he has total focus and determination, which we've seen in his quest to conquer Mordu. He's clearly resilient, so he'd be able to take a couple of hits without suffering any real damage. And I think it's fair to say he would bring his A game when playing against the Bears. Finally, what's an NFL team without great coaches? These next characters will lead their teams to victory. Our first pick for coach is Captain Phoebus from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Phoebus is not on this list for his size or might, he's here for his strategic mind. Phoebus is a gallant war veteran, so he's quick-witted, brilliant, and tactical. These are all crucial components for a great coach, and even more specifically, a defensive coordinator. Just as Phoebus is the only one that cleverly sees through the disguise of Esmeralda, he could see through any schemes the offense is planning to use to fool his defense. Our pick for assistant coach goes to Phil from Hercules. Maybe it's Danny DeVito's voice cheering you on from the sidelines, "Come on kid, concentrate," but there's no doubt he would make for great support. He knows what it takes for his players to become all-time champions and is tough and honest with his lessons. But more importantly, he's selfless when it comes to the ultimate goal, getting his players to be their best versions possible. Phil would have no problem taking an assistant role either, giving the head coaching job to someone more experienced than himself. He uses himself to build up the heroes, and we can only assume it would make him the perfect addition to any sideline. Our penultimate pick goes to Merlin from The Sword and the Stone, and we believe he would make a great offensive coordinator. While he can be absent-minded and forgetful, his wisdom would more than make up for it on the playing field. Without mentioning his foresight ability, we still think he would be able to dissect opposing defenses. In The Sword and the Stone, Merlin values education as opposed to the war training philosophies shared by the rest of society. This could be a fantastic, unconventional approach to training your offense. His success in mentoring Arthur should translate to an NFL offense just fine. And our final pick for head coach goes to Roz from Monsters, Inc. Now, this one might come as a bit of a surprise, but just hear us out. She should have no problem leading an NFL team, as she is already the leader of the Child Detection Agency. Though she comes across as strict and a stickler, those are the exact qualities that would qualify her as a head coach. Think Bill Belichick. She'd be sure to get any team in order since she already doesn't tolerate things like late paperwork and kids running amok. Sometimes the best leaders are the ones who move the slowest and say the least. And that's it. Let us know in the comment section what Disney characters you would draft to form an NFL team. And tell us what we should cover next. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge more of our videos. But most importantly, stay wicked.